This is not the first time Michael Saylor has reinvented MicroStrategy and pumped the stock to the moon. Price is going up. Oh, they're going to the moon. These things are, people don't understand how profitable they're going to be. There's a difference between a good stock and a good stock price. I mean, a good company and a good stock. There can be lots of great companies that are just overpriced and they don't have to keep going up no matter how great the company is. That's what's about to happen. I think they're going to crown the king and make BlackRock the official first Bitcoin ETF. BlackRock's definitely going to be one of them. If they're not the only one, they'll definitely be one of them.
The potential Bitcoin issuers. The initial funding of exchange-traded funds has been further detailed in modified forms that were submitted early on Monday. VanEck, an investment business, has taken the lead, as shown in its updated SUP1 form, by seeding its possible spot Bitcoin ETF with an initial investment of $72.05 million. In its revised SU1 form, Bitwise, another candidate in the hunt for a spot Bitcoin ETF, disclosed that it will seed its proposed ETF with an initial sum of $500,000. Furthermore, should the fund be approved, Pantera Capital has indicated its intention to contribute a large $200 million. Importantly, this interest statement is clearly intended to be illustrative only and not binding. The financial sector heavyweight BlackRock has joined the fray, with facts revealed in its modified SIN form showing that it has seeded a prospective spot Bitcoin ETF with an initial investment of $10 million. For my projects, I rely on a classic stack of National Geographics to create desk at the correct height. Today, when I retrieved them from the shelf, this one ranked highest. It's going to happen like that. The Great Migration, this torrent of money into these Bitcoin exchange-traded funds, and I'm still standing by my prediction. This is scheduled to be recorded on Friday, the 5th. Our release on the Feast of the Epiphany, the 6th, will require a plethora of epiphanies, as this is our Epiphany show. I've settled on Sunday night, the 7th, which is immediately preceding the birthdays of the King, Elvis, on Monday, my 13-year-old. In my opinion, BlackRock will be proclaimed the first legitimate Bitcoin ETF, and they will crown the king. They may perform them all simultaneously, according to this rumor. I think BlackRock will be one of them. Whether or not they actually do it is anyone's guess. If they aren't the sole ones, they will most certainly be among them. A lot of people will be buying GBT because they don't see why they should pay $2 to hold Bitcoin. And that money will eventually flow into the Bitcoin ETF. Why? Why? Because there's no other way to get it into an IRA or brokerage account. It seems like there were some IRA services, but owning this trust was the only way to have it in a brokerage account. Although Beto and the others were futures, they were not direct spot ownership if you were looking to purchase them directly. But Bitcoin Bank attached to a software company that is losing money is MicroStrategy. Now it's officially a Bitcoin bank. This proxy phenomena and their slight leverage are the reasons it outperformed. Michael may purchase Bitcoin with the money he borrowed in the first tranche, which was a great deal, and pay it back with zero interest. Not a lot of leverage, but it's there. Because it is undesirable to borrow money in order to purchase an asset that later drops in value. He will now face a margin call and be forced to return all of his funds to zero. Now, the only way things can go wrong is if the loan is called, and everyone is saying that this loan will be called. Sorry, I was never contacted. Very nearly made it. I mean, I was so close, but the loan and margin calls never came through. His newfound intelligence has led me to believe that he is increasing his spending. Some of those items will definitely get less attention, in my opinion. Consider Coinbase as an example. It's a coin flip because although users will migrate to ETFs, many will remain in custody within Coinbase, allowing Coinbase to reap further revenues. I suppose last night someone published some reports claiming that the predicted 67 decline in this stock is exaggerated. Excuse me, but are you serious? So I need you to do the maths with me because, listen, I get it, your earnings won't be rocket science, but what will happen to the price when we have a supply shock at the end of April and a demand shock on Monday? Let's focus on some of Mark's points. The crypto revolution meets old school charm in National Geographic's computer prop. There has been a commotion in the cryptocurrency world due to the massive influx of funds into Bitcoin ETFs. Mark continues to believe that BlackRock will be the first exchange-traded fund to offer Bitcoin. Like trying to guess the king's birthday. But with a crypto twist, the suspense rises. Enter the MicroStrategy saga, a Bitcoin bank tied to a software company that was losing money. The story of Michael Saylor's daring Bitcoin purchases and near-margin calls is riveting. Our side character Coinbase is in the middle of discussions over its future. As it braces for supply and demand shocks, the financial pillar's surprising turn of events keeps us guessing. It stands to gain substantially from the price increase, but the premium will be drained. It's similar to my feelings regarding the initial days of the ETF approval process in the event that GBTC is not approved. If they refuse to approve Barry and Michael's conversion to an ETF, significant portion, if not all, of the $25 in GBTC will be lost. You can expect it to change direction at any second. Because of this, the market would be extremely disappointed if the price didn't skyrocket. What gives? Your stocks are perfect. Listen, I'm anticipating a large influx of a couple $1 billion, maybe even $3 billion on Monday. But if the only thing that's approved is the transition from GBTC to these other protocols like DBT or whatever, then there won't be any upward pressure. Considerable variation would result from that. Actually, I don't think it will matter in the long run. Over the long run, I estimate that one of the $300 billion entering this market will be allocated here. That is merely 1%, not 2, 3, or 4%. Thus, I believe it's a huge shock to the supply or demand. In my opinion, MicroStrategy, however, will not achieve meteoric success. People, isn't it incredible? When things are falling, they assume that the decline will continue indefinitely. A zero will be reached. Well, all right, you should probably be buying now instead of selling, aren't you? And we've already covered this one. When products go on sale at supermarkets, customers flock to the stores to stock up. Therefore, you should have been a buyer when it was falling in price and the discount was already lower than the value of its balance sheet assets. Now, insiders don't sell at bottoms when it's trading at a large premium because to a hashtag I own. An insider's decision to sell their shares indicates that they have more information than you have. When it's underpriced, they don't sell, do they? When I was an employee at the university, we had this system whereby we would quickly sell whatever gifts that donors would give us. We should manage a hedge fund that simply shorts all those equities. I've always stated, because when you offer someone an appreciated item as a present, you don't give them the one you think will go up in value. You give them the one you think is at its peak, and you can't sell it quick enough. So Michael sees the writing on the wall when it comes to the excessive valuation of that corporation, which is why he is selling shares to acquire more Bitcoin himself. In terms of price to earnings ratio, it seems like every software and cloud company is ridiculously overpriced, but as an arbitrager, he excels. I mean, it's true. One may counter that he ends up in the wrong side of the arbitrage or something along those lines. However, he excels as an arbitrager, and he's pulled this off on several occasions. People tend to overlook the fact that Michael Saylor has already reimagined MicroStrategy and sent the stock soaring on multiple occasions.